as and use the Zoom background sent through your email. At the end of the program, an evaluation form will be sent through the Zoom chat box. Please make sure that you accomplish it as well as serve it as your attendance.
If you have questions or clarifications you would like to raise, kindly send a private message to our tech team. Lastly, let us enjoy the event as we learn about the topic on technologies of participatory democracy.
You may also invite your friends who are interested in this policy forum to join our FB Live. Now, let's wait for others to come before we start our policy forum. Thank you.
All right, to all our attendees today, you can still invite your friends and families to attend our event before we formally begin our event in a few more minutes.
I'm singing a eulogy for everything between you and me, you and me. Nails in the coffin, I'm out of breath to breathe. There's nothing left between you and me, you and me. It's you and me, you and me. never the same, never the same. Hold your virtues now. Searching for blue butterflies. Trying to stay afloat while you're swimming in pools, treading undersides. We're just swimming in pools, treading undersides. My hands feeling water real tired, but I can't make it, I can't trace it. Painting pictures to configure. Our hearts stop beating for a second, and you can't fix me, you can't save me. Painting pictures to remember that I'm a ghost to your noise, and I can't pick up the clothes that you left on the floor. It's a mess. This time I'll learn to live without you in design, and this time I'll reminisce the old you. After all, I tried to find it easier to clear my mind, but lately seems like I'm nothing more than see-through. These hands feeling water real tired, I can't create it if I make it. Painting pictures of the sky so red when I thought I was dead, and I'm feeling more alive now. Or is it just from the countdown?
Again, good morning, everyone. I am Brenda Vid, one of your hosts. Na yes for participatory democracy.
And I am Ian Saison, one of your hosts too, and I believe that participatory democracy is a fundamental element of a just and humane society that every one of us deserves.
Ayan, Mare, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling
I'm
excited?
feeling good. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling excited, and I'm feeling nervous. Kasi naman, di ba? Like, eto na yon. Ito na yung parang way natin
Mhm. And we've been
to
preparing
learn more
for this.
about participatory democracy.
Exactly, and we've been preparing for this for the whole semester. And we're very much excited
Yes.
for the audience and our viewers to see all the efforts we've been putting into this. And of course, for us STS students, we're excited to learn more applicable knowledge of the things we learned in class, di ba?
Yes. And of course, we should thank din yung professor natin sa STS. Hello, Sir Remy De Leon.
Yes, we would like to acknowledge
Hi
the
po.
presence of our professor,
Yes.
Sir Remy. Ayan. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And so let's ask naman our audience if they are excited to join us today's discussion. Can we have heart reacts if they are excited? Ayan. Mukhang excited.
Excited naman nila.
Oo.
Diba?
Alright, now we begin with our discussion. 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, welcome to Lualu, defending the defenseless, championing the unprotected and the destitute.
A policy forum on technologies of participatory democracy. The forum consists of two topics. First is the importance of digital literacy.
Next, we will talk about the role of ICT in civic representation and participation. So I think, are you all ready, guys?
Well, I think, Mare, ready na sila, no? Pero before that, for questions addressed to our first speaker, kindly refer to the link sent in the chat box. Ayan. These questions will be addressed after the presentation of our first speaker.
Ayan, again, if you have any questions for our first speaker, you may put them in the Slido link given in the chat box below. So without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker for today. She is a public policies researcher from Policy International, an all-women policy group advocating for competition in MSMEs, focusing on the ASEAN region, and a youth rights advocate. Currently, she is the first and only Filipina youth advisor in the Youth Leadership Council at the Global Fund for Children, a global entity that invests in community-based organizations around the world to help children and youth reach their full potential, as well as pioneering Filipina youth advisor at the United States Institute of Peace, a federal institution that promotes research, policy analysis, education, and training on international peace and conflict resolution in an effort to prevent unresolved violent conflicts and promote post-conflict stability.
Nationally, she interned in the Senate of the Philippines for a brief time before serving as the executive director of 𝗂𝗂𝗪𝗀, the official youth partner of a former Senate's office. 𝗂𝗂𝗪𝗀 is a national body of young leaders empowered to organize at the grassroots, activating youth civil involvement and participation in local government units by building young Filipinos' capacity in ground organizing, digital organizing, and community relation. From 2020 to 2022, the organization grew to 25 chapters with a presence in all three major islands of the Philippine archipelago, in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and a network of volunteers of just under 1,000 members.
Wow, that's so good. Currently, she operates within the networks of national and international socio-civic organizations like the World Youth Alliance Asia Pacific, the International Federation of Liberal Youth, and the Youth Wing of the Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats.
Grabe naman. So, without further ado, let us all welcome Miss Maria Veronica Papa.
Ayan, good morning po.
Good morning. Hi, everyone.
Morning
Please
po.
call me Oni na lang dahil mahaba ang Maria Veronica. It's such a great day to be able to speak in front of amazing students. And thank you to your professor, Sir De Leon, for having me, and sila Danica na nag-organize nito. So if I may, I'd like to share my slides. Okay, kita naman? Is it okay? Okay,
Yeah.
Maraming salamat. Okay, so thank you as well to UPDEPP Science, Tech, and Society 1 class for having me on this policy forum that the group organized. Pakilala lang ako muli, no? I'm Oni Papa. Wait lang ha, automated ang aking slides. Okay, yeah. I'm Oni Papa. I'm a public policies researcher for Policy International. I'm the former executive director and co-founder of 𝗂𝗂𝗪𝗀 Youth, and I'm a youth advisor for the Global Fund for Children and the United States Institute of Peace. And the reason why I'm reiterating these things ay hindi ako nagpa-flex, but because the topic I was asked to discuss is the importance of digital literacy and how we can bridge the digital divide in our country. I want to begin that by sharing all of my socio-civic and professional involvements. The longer that I operated in the national and international sphere, it became very, very apparent that navigating important agendas concerning national, international, and more importantly, social and personal issues almost necessitated, kinakailangan, hindi pwedeng wala, na may good grasp ka on digital organizing. Now, let's just say not all of us know what digital organizing is. So digital organizing, first and foremost, it refers to the use of digital technologies and online platforms to mobilize and engage individuals and communities around a specific cause or issue. It can be political, it can be more advocacy forward, it could be about animals, it could be about human rights, it could be about anything. And it involves using digital tools, your Facebook, your social media platforms, your websites, your email campaigns, yung mga email blasts natin. Even this event used an email blast to be able to organize all of you para magtipon tayo dito. And other online resources to build relationships, raise awareness, and coordinate actions. Now, what does that have to do with digital literacy? These are the statistics that we have. And I'm so sorry, I forgot to put the source there. I'll update this. At current, 72.5% of the national population use social media, which we might be able to assume that 84.5 million Filipino individuals have some form of digital literacy. That means 72.5% of our entire population in the country understands how to navigate the digital sphere. They know how to operate their social media. They know how to optimize their online experience and international network connectivity, also known as internet connectivity, as what digital literacy entails. So alam nila, kasama tayo dun. But that leaves us with 32 million individuals who either do not have access to this or choose to not do at all. Hindi naman tayo sure. But it still stands that there's the rest of the Philippines that isn't like us. So in terms of counting how many are digitally literate, we have 32 million left behind. So with this information, I want us to question what our definition of progress is. And is it necessarily a bad thing to not be hyper-connected, na hindi maging digitally literate? Masamang bagay ba siya? No? Tulad natin, tayo ay TikTok-going, Facebook-consuming, Twitter-trolling users. Baka perspektibo lang natin. Dahil may pribilehiyo tayo magsabi na being connected and digitally literate is the most important thing in the digital age. Baka lang naman it does more harm than good. So I want us to question things and be guided by some of the things that I will be presenting in the following slides. So while we think about that, let's look at the role played by technology in getting citizens engaged with the government in shaping development policy. So a study conducted by Ateneo rendered a data set from a 2,000-person sample. This was in 2001, but pretty ano naman siya, recent study. So we can see how this could also be extrapolated to 2023. So it conducted a study to know how many Filipinos consume their news and current events, and also garner information almost exclusively online. So the study acquired the following percentages. 66.1% said they get it from television, and then it's followed by YouTube. So di ko na-use to cite yung other percentage because 66.1% is high. It is high. There's YouTube. The rest is news websites. The rest is radio. The rest is messaging applications. So yung mga tita nyo nag-share ng fake news or real news through your Messenger Viber chats, kasama yun. And then there's Twitter. And then a very, very small percentage in printed news or magazines. So what does this tell us practically? This tells us that high reliance towards online platforms to reach information has shifted the tradition of informational leverage. Those who are better informed live a completely different life from those who have no access to the same information. And this gap can be seen everywhere. But let me tell you a story so you can see it better. Last month, Policy International landed in Tagbilaran City in Butuan, Mindanao, to conduct a two-part lecture series on competition policy and data privacy. We titled our project 𝗟𝗂𝗪𝗃. We were there for 3 days, and we had two types of groups, the college group and the high school group. They were separate in their sessions, but in particular, the high school group spent a lot more time with us because in their sessions, they were highly enthusiastic about preparing for the UPDEPP, the same test that most of us took, no? To be able to study in the institution that we have either graduated from or currently studying in right now. Sabi nila, pangarap daw talaga nila makapasok sa UP, maging iska at isko, magiging mag-aaral ng Universidad ng Pilipinas. So they asked us for tips. They asked us what life is like in UP. But then they also asked us, ma'am, kailan po yung deadline para sa application? And at that point, the deadline for passing all the requirements to qualify for the UPCAT was in 3 days. And the kids did not know this, nor did their institutions have the leverage to inform their students properly. Yung informational chambers nila, which means their immediate and their online community, didn't get to echo back that information to them. Pero alam ko marami sa atin, araw-araw nakikita yung mga posts ng UP, diba, na deadline in ganyan-ganyan. Yung chambers natin, rich with information on how to get access to UP. Isn't it crazy to think that there are people out there who don't have what we have? It's crazy because it's true. My heart ached for them because that it meant that they couldn't even dream that far anymore. Hindi na umabot yung pangarap nilang mag-upcat dahil palipas na yung deadline. Mahahabol mo ba yun in 3 days? Gagawa ka pangalan ng portal, di ba? Yung mga iba, may mga tech problems pa na i-experience. So another layer yun. In other words, hindi sila umabot. And we were attempting to console them, inform them that may mga ibang pamamaraan. There are other ways to enter the university, not just the exam. And then one of their adult chaperones told us, and it was a very shameful and humbling experience. Sabi niya, hindi kasi umaabot yung ganyang impormasyon dito. Ang sakit malaman nun at nakaka-shock. Na bakit? Parang talk of the town ngayon ganyang impormasyon dito sa syudad. Kung nasang syudad ka man, Clark, Manila, sa kanila hindi. So this is one story, one example out of so many and current exhibitions of social disparity when it comes to digital literacy. Bigyan ko pa ng isa pang ehemplo. Another example of this is in politics. In 2022, I was a junior political officer under former Senator 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃's office. I was a campaign staff, which meant I participated in coordinating political sorties on the ground between my camp and local government offices. But that also meant my take-home work was amateur data analysis. I compiled databases, I compiled site-specific statistics, ginawa ko yung lahat para makagawa ng executive brief. And we use information available on Wikipedia, on LGUs. We cross-check that with their official websites. So from there, ang dami talagang aspects na isang national political campaign, no? And one of the most important tasks we did was to review our candidates' performance across demographics. From February 8 to May 9, we were consistently able to identify the sectors, that we truly needed to double down on just so we could reach them. Consistently, they were the areas that had low internet penetration rates, hindi nakaka-reach yung internet, hindi privileged enough to have that kind of convenience. And from what we could infer, kung wala kang access sa internet, paano ka magkakaroon ng digital literacy? These areas were the ones that had low rates of digital literacy, and therefore the kind of information, the kind of news, and the kind of data that they were operating with is completely different from what I had. I had all the data in the world. I was working for the Lenny Kiko campaign. And I know you guys were tuned in to social media. I know you guys received information na, may rally ng may ganyan, kailangan natin pupunta. Ito yung organizers. We had all that information. And that was also where we know we went wrong. Kasi marami pa ring Pilipino na mas malaki yung problema sa pang-araw-araw kaysa sa pagbabasa ng curriculum vitae ng isang kandidato. Na wala ka silang internet, ano gagawin nila? Gutom sila, hindi naman importante. Importante makakain sila. Tapos sabi ng kapitbahay ko, sabi kasi ni yung isang kandidato dyan, sabi yung presyo ng bigas bababaan, dun tayo. Yun yung data nila, yun yung impormasyon nila, na sobrang ibang-iba sa impormasyon natin. Hindi sila makikinig sa debate. Kasi ang pamamaraan lang ng pagpapanood ay kung nandun ka sa debate site. Ako nandun ako. Ako nagkoral nung kampo namin nun eh. Ako nag-coordinate nun eh. Sila hindi, wala sila dun. Or parang kayo, may stable internet kayo para magbabad at isama sa pagsisiyasat nyo kung sino dapat ang iboboto nyo. You have that information. And with all of this, we can't disregard that democracy apparently only goes far and is only as effective as how much and what the masses know. In a society that has a lot of injustice, ganito ang itsura ng demokrasya. It is difficult to push a political agenda that has many, many walls up before the rest of our Filipinos can even begin to see it, to believe it. Paano nila paniniwalaan kung sino dapat nila botohin? Hindi nga nila alam. Wala silang access. And so, what we can infer here is that when information is further privatized into channels that require a certain location, a certain socioeconomic level to have access to that information, we fail each other over and over again. We enjoy the threshold it takes to have intellectual conversation and informed debate. Tayo, enjoy natin yun. Warriors tayo. Diba? Keyboard warriors tayo. And then in the process of that, we forget that the rest of the country's lives don't look like ours. Hindi ganun yung laban nila. Iba itsura ng laban nila. So that is why digital literacy is, aside from being important, is imperative. Imperative for promoting social equity. So the implication of this disparity goes beyond statistical kasi. It impacts individuals' lives, like the kids who didn't get a shot at applying for the UPCAT. And it's about dignity. It's about dignity because the people who believed in of course, personal opinion ko, pero in the wrong candidate, were disappointed na hindi pa rin bumaba ang presyo ng bigas at tumaas ang presyo ng lahat ng bilihin. It's about truth. And it's about true freedom and true democracy. Democracy lives when its people are empowered to exercise their right to demand free, available, and impartial information. We get filtered information when there are other powers existing, people in authority who filter the kind of information that we receive. And especially our more underprivileged citizens, sila ang mamanipula, sila ang nagkukulang sa pagtatanggap ng totoong impormasyon na impartial. So with all of these, we're now thinking, how can we bridge this gap? How can individuals like us who enjoy our privilege do something about this? Estudyante lang ako, manggagawa lang ako, tatay lang ako, nanay lang, anong gagawin ko? Hindi naman ako yung presidente, hindi naman ako si Darna. How do I change the country in the way that it deserves to change? So there are many ways, some small and some big. For the purpose of this talk, I'll only be forwarding a few levels, 3, that we can engage ourselves in to organize and advocate for digital literacy for all. Now, these methods have little to do with drafting a policy kasi hindi naman tayo lahat policy. Hindi tayo lahat nasa Senado, okay? But that is the end goal. Digital literacy kasi, if you guys didn't know, it's a relatively new age concept. It was only in 1997 when the term was coined. So my humble opinion is that the movements to push for taking digital literacy seriously as a matter of public importance and even part of our rights as private citizens in a republic, hindi siya natutuunan ng pansin because the nature of it hasn't been fleshed out the best. Kasi bago siya eh. And in conjuncture to that, it could also be due to the lack of youth intervention in public office. Sino ba yung eksperto sa pagiging digital nation natin? Ay di mga kabataan. My 10-year-old niece knows how to operate an iPad better than me. Para akong boomer kapag kausap ko siya. Alam mo yun? And it's for this reason that I personally don't think the older generation who are currently in power necessarily see the dangers of omitting digital literacy in important public discourse. Because chances are they're also part of the demographic who are lagging behind it. However, it still stands that the digital world is so deeply enmeshed into our lives, our work, our communication. And testament to that ay nag-uusap tayo ngayon sa isang Zoom room. The number of digital steps it took for you to even get here, for me to make this presentation, so many. There are so many barriers that I and you got to cross because we had that privilege, no? And with that, I would say it's irresponsible now to not regard the gap in digital literacy as a problem. But I completely agree that there are many more pressing issues we face as a society. However, there are still currently around 32 million Filipinos without proper access to information vital to the development and security of their lives. And that number should matter to the rest of the 84.5 million who don't experience that inequity. That matters to me. I'm part of the 84.5 million. Hindi ko kilala yung 32 million. Malayo kasi sila sa kabihasnan natin eh. We're constantly surrounded by people who don't experience that inequity, but they exist, and we have to acknowledge them. So, what can we do, no? Okay, wondering if I'm still here. Did I get choppy for a bit? Can I see someone like give me a thumbs up if I'm still here? Yeah, I'm still here now. Okay. Sige. Okay, so here are some suggestions that we can use as a jumping board to take digital literacy for all a little bit more seriously than we did before, no? So the first level of involvement is advocating for digital literacy through awareness. So raising awareness. Lagi natin yung naririnig, but you do have to take it seriously as well dahil kung hindi mo alam, wala kang gagawin. How can you take action on something that you don't even know about? Remember back in 2012, when people would still use the N-word because they didn't know the historical implications of it, that it was used as a slur, that it should be for all purposes banned to be used by any other voices other than the community that was oppressed by it, for them to reclaim it. So hindi natin alam back then, but now we do. So that's why it's important to raise awareness. It's your catalyst. So ironically, raising awareness about digital literacy is more easily done in the digital sphere. So if there is an opportunity to create a campaign sa class nyo, to create online efforts to inform more people like us who have the privilege and have access to that there are many of us left behind the digital revolution, please use that opportunity to spread the word. More of us means more people caring and more people trying to change something. Many people don't find themselves daily in situations that bring to light, the lack of privilege in other sectors. And it can absolutely be part of our advocacies to see that changes. I just want to tell more people. Naalala niyo ba yung ginawa natin sa 2022 campaign? Whatever side you were on, but people were on ground talking. They were raising awareness. They were sharing information. That you're doing the Lord's work. You have to share information. You can't gatekeep information because information is what strengthens a democracy. No? So feel free to shock people. 32 million pa yung mga taong hindi kaya mag-access ng internet. Hindi ka ba natatakot dun sa number na yun? Because those numbers are real. And there are real-world examples out there as well that show just how inequitable access to information is right now. I also want to emphasize that digital literacy looks different in different generations. So the methods of teaching older people, like your lola, that's different. Iba yung pagturo sa akin ng digital literacy sa pagturo ko sa lola ko kasi in general, kailangan mo niya malaman ano yung itsura ng digital. And bakit kailangan natin maging, so it's different. So maybe you could start a specialized campaign for teaching senior citizens. Sorry, let me just plug in my laptop. Okay, I think I'm back. So you can have a specialist campaign for teaching senior citizens, maybe through their families or their barangays, how digital information can help them even if hindi nila kinalakihan yun. Okay, so that's one. Pangalawa, the second level is a bit more involved. It's reaching out to communities that statistically have a lower internet penetration. How can we do this? If that information is hard to come by, hindi natin alam, okay, saan ba sa barangay ko yung hindi masyadong digitally literate or wala masyadong internet yung mga tao. Once more, statistically speaking, though there is a high percentage of internet penetration in most urban communities, most barangays, Barangay Cruz Naligas, Barangay Santolan, that doesn't necessarily mean there is also directly the same high percentage of digital literacy. Magkaiba ang internet penetration sa digital literacy. Anyone can be a victim of fake news. Tatay mo nga, victim ng fake news. Nanay mo, lola mo, ikaw, minsan. Biktima ng fake news. So, anyone can be a purveyor of malicious online behavior. And if you're someone who feels strongly about organizing from the grassroots, kasi doon naman talaga ang totoong movement eh, kailangan mo pumunta sa grassroots. You could connect with your sanggunian kabataan, you could connect with your barangay, or even if that's too hard, if that's too much work, masyadong maraming bureaucracy, okay lang yun. You can connect with your own friends and you can informally start a micro-scale initiative, and it can already impact multiple lives. You know what? Changing 3 lives, that's plenty. That's plenty. Three? That's more than 1. And 1 is more than 0. You know? So even just bringing down that 32,500,600 𝗂𝗃𝗃 to just a little bit less than that, that's going to change someone's entire life. And I always think back to that kid who I could see na malapit na siyang umiyak nung nalaman niya hindi na siya abot sa UPDEPP. If she just had that chance, her life would look different right now. So 1 person, that's enough. 3 is plenty, and many more is revolutionary. Okay? So the 3rd level and the last is lobbying for strengthening school curriculum. So ito yung pinakamahirap to na magagawa natin bilang manggagawa, mag-aaral, bilang individual na Pilipino. But we do have to consider that our students are the future. And so equipping them with the skills to be a responsible digital citizen who is literate, analytical, and careful about their digital presence and behavior, it will set precedents for how the future generations are going to carry the torch for further promoting and formally regarding digital literacy as a matter of public importance. If you recall your lessons in elementary, tinuruan kayo kung paano gumamit ng PowerPoint. Tinuruan kayo kung paano gumamit ng Excel. Naging parte siya ng school curriculum mo. 20, 30 years ago, you had to take a special certificate course. You had to go to computer school. Yun yung storya sa akin ng lola ko. She had to go to school. She had to get a course so she could learn how to type on a keyboard. Isn't that insane? Because right now, my 10-year-old goddaughter has been typing on a keyboard since she was 5. So our curriculum does change. It does, and it can change. So I understand this is a little more tricky because institutional education goes through a lot of bureaucratic processes before any formalized change can happen. But the projects and partnerships within your schools is one step you can take to the 1,000-kilometer journey to educational reform. So in the grand scheme of things, it is the hope that these personal involvements, your small initiatives, regardless of what level you're interested in involving yourself in, the hope is one day it'll reach a national level, that it's going to be big enough to actually change the country. You have to try. You have to try for the 32 million. You have to try for that girl. To try and try again, just to see that no Filipino is left behind. That every person gets to enjoy their full rights, their full dignities, including those attached to digital participation. One day, crazy, but we might have public-private sector partnerships na mag-invest in digital literacy initiatives. One day, we may even encounter a promotion in affordable tech devices for distant learning. Baka 1,000 na lang ang tablet. At mas marami ng Pilipino magkakaroon ng device para makapag-aral kahit malayo sila mula sa city center nila. And general equipment to be a digital citizen, because the world is different now. Marami pa rin nalaleft behind, even if the world has progressed past it. One day, maybe there will be a policy. Let's hope for that safeguards the digital citizenry of every Filipino. So these big and crazy ideas will materialize only if we can dare to dream a small but ambitious dream of launching our own campaigns, our own initiatives, and essentially doing our part in the collective effort to formalize digital literacy. So with all of these, if you can take anything from this talk, when you exit this Zoom room and step out into the world once more, makalimutan na tayo, huwag niyo na alalahanin kung sino ako. Try and notice how many people don't have access or the same understanding of information that's readily available for you. See how it makes their lives so much different from yours, even if you live in the same place. You'll notice how life looks different when there's a gap in access. It is a very tall wall. And know that as the person on the other side of that wall, you are the only one who can break it. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening. And you connect with me on Instagram, LinkedIn, or email for any invitations if you'd like to invite me for anything. So back to the host. I believe we're Q&Aing now. So go ahead, Ian and Brent. I'll stop sharing screen.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Oni. All right. Again, for any questions, please refer to the link sent in the chat box or scan the QR code flash on your screens. All right. For our first question, Miss Oni, one of our audience would like to ask, how can we as youth participate in enacting such democracy in the world daw po?
Democracy in the world through digital literacy,
Yes.
or just in general? Because I can answer both. But through digital participation, you already now know that there are 72.5% Filipinos on the digital sphere. That means your reach is already higher, democratically. Ano bang demokrasya kundi the vote of the many. So when you have an audience that is big, that is huge on a digital scale, it's now your responsibility. Hindi naman always, pero it is your responsibility to be a responsible citizen digitally. And what does that mean? Huwag kang kumalap ng fake news. Don't be a purveyor of fake news. That's the smallest thing you can do. Diba? Parang if you see an article and you want to share it, double check it, click on it. Try to see, baka naman hoax kasi. Sobrang liit, no? Pero sinasabi ko sa'yo, dun natalo ang kampo dati. There is a lot of information available online that messes with the democratic tradition that we have right now. More people are believing in wrong news. More people are believing in the wrong messaging. But of course, it's always up to you kung ano ba yung, saan ba kayo tumitindig. I don't want to be, hindi naman ako namumulitiko dito. I promise. It's just an example. It's an example of how namomonopolize ang impormasyon. Namomonopolize ang impormasyon dahil marami ng tao na nasa digital sphere who are consuming that information. That's one thing. Another thing that I would suggest is through small campaigns talaga, you don't have to be an entire organization. You don't have to be. In order to maybe release a publication material that's easy to understand, that this is how you can spot fake news, or this is one way for you to participate in preserving your democratic institutions. Maraming ganyang initiatives. What changed my life, I would say, as a digital citizen and as a freedom fighter, as a person who loves democracy, it's seeing my friend share a link to something, because I signed up for it. And I didn't know how much it would change my life, but it did. Right now, I am in this organization, I'm doing that work and doing this work. And paano ba ako nagsimula? Nag-click ako ng link. I believed information. I looked something up. So it might seem small, but it means everything, I hope that answered your question. Feel free to follow up on that. Yeah.
And thank you, Ms. Oni. I agree now, those small efforts, those small initiatives could actually mean something in the greater picture. Ayan. For our next question, Ms. Oni, we have any insights on how to get past the culture of smart shaming when we do community outreach daw po?
Oh, definitely. So we actually had training on how to talk to people with more empathy and more sensitivity than the way that we would want. Gusto natin gumamit ng malalaking words. Gusto nating mag-grandstand at magsabi, ganito ang demokrasya, ganito ang ganyan, yan ang mali, ito ang tama. And that just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because when you are being smart or using words that is considered strong language or language actually of impunity, na ito yung tama, kayo mali kasi bobo kayo. That's already transactional shaming. So the way if I talk to you as if I am a scholar, tapos umabot ka lang ng grade 5, there is transactional shame there kasi alam ko na hindi tayo pareho ng pribileyo. Bakit why am I talking to you as if you would understand what informational leverage means? It doesn't mean kasi that they're lacking, intelligence. It just meant that they lack access. And pumunta ka dun sa komunidad na yun para magkaroon ng kaunting shift naman sa tectonic plates ng ating pribilehiyo. So you don't have to worry too much about being smart shamed because you can connect to people as human beings. How do you talk to your sister? How do you talk to your friends? You come to a community and you're playing the part of an educator. But you have to understand na hindi ka lang educator, estudyante ka rin doon. Kasi tuturuan ka dapat. You have to know na pag pupunta ka sa isang komunidad, may sarili silang kultura, meron silang sariling pamamalakad. They also have their own beliefs. So you can't go there grandstanding. This is my ideology. And sabi kasi ni Schechner to that doesn't matter. And then you're gonna learn things like, oh, ganito pala kapag ang barangay ay may X amount of demographics, ganito pala ang barangay, ganito pala yung policy na kailangan nila kapag ito yung problema nila. So transactional palagi ang pagbababad sa komunidad. And the easiest tip I can give, please, as much as you can, speak in the language that is most spoken in that locality. And I am so sorry if hindi kayo magaling mag-Tagalog, hindi kayo magaling mag-Kapampangan, hindi kayo magaling mag-Bicolano, pero maghanap kayo, gawan nyo ng paraan. Kasi hindi ka pwede pumunta sa isang komunidad tapos ikaw yung I'm so sorry, I don't speak. Medyo, that's wrong. When you're going to the community tapos Englishera ka, Messianic yun yung ginawa ng Amerika sa atin. No, you have to adjust to me because I'm gonna save you. Because you're so historically also, let's learn from our colonizers as well, and let's not do the same mistake. Okay, maybe there's a next question.
All right, very well said, Miss Uni. There should always be a balance, of objective information as well as values such as empathy and communicating with other people. All right, for our last question for you, Miss Oni, are there any references out there which could detail the methods used by quote-unquote the other camp? Example, fire hosing, and etc. Again, are there any references out there which could detail the methods used by quote-unquote the other camp, such as fire hosing daw po?
Alam mo kung ano yung best references. And this is something I learned working in the Senate and the campaign for a year and a half, or basically 2 years. Manood ka ng SMNI. Pumunta ka doon sa mga pagtitipon nila. That's crazy, right? Ano ba? Ang ginagawa ko doon? Bakit ako makikinig doon? Hindi ka pwedeng magstay sa echo chamber mo. Hindi mo pwedeng itanong yung kapwa supporter mo kung nasaan ka man, no? Kung anong pinapanigan mo, kung anong ideolohiya mo. Hindi ko tatanungin yung fellow, I wanna say, liberal or militante mong kaibigan na ano kayo ginagawa nung kabilang Hindi din niya alam eh. Kasi you're on the same side. The things that you analyze are the things that benefit your agendas. So you will never truly know unless you dip your toes into it a little bit. And honestly, that's how you get compassion as well eh. Kasi once more, hindi natin kalaban ng fellow Filipinos natin eh. Meron lang silang pinanigan. Parang ikaw, bakit ka ba ganyan magsalita? Kasi militante ka eh. Kasi liberal ka eh. Kasi dilawan ka eh. There was a place where you learned all of that, and there's a place where they learned all of that. We're all Filipinos. We just found ourselves on certain sides. So to understand their side, manood ka sa nanay, manood ka ng vlog nung ibang politiko. Do it. Walang mawawala. May matututunan ka pa. Tapos organic pa yung source. Okay? So yeah, that's my advice.
All right, I think that was the last question, Miss Oni. Very well said. Indeed, let's go out of our echo chambers and, of course, immerse ourselves in the community to help enact positive change. Again, thank you so much, Miss Oni, for answering the questions and for giving us some of your time in sharing your knowledge in today's forum.
Of course, Thank you so much.
With that, I would like to award Miss Oni the certificate as our token of appreciation. The certificate of appreciation is awarded to Miss Maria Veronica Oni Papa for imparting her valuable insights, experiences, and expertise with the participants of the UPDEPP STS 𝗟𝗂𝗂𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗂. Tara, sama ka, in Tagalog. Policy Forum entitled Lualu, Defending the Defenseless, Championing the Unprotected and Destitute, given this 19th day of June 2023.
Yay!
Of course, it is signed by STS1 Professor Remy De Leon and by overall head 𝗟𝗂𝗳𝗲𝗲𝗃. Yeah, ayan po. So, now, let us take picture po. Miss Oni, again, thank you po.
Again, may we request the other people in our Zoom room if they could open their cameras for our picture taking with Miss Oni before she leaves the Zoom room. Yeah.
Ayan. Everyone, turn on your cam po. If wala, pasend na lang na reacts. Ayan. Okay. Ayan. First page. 3, 2, 1. Smile po. Wait, may nag-chat. Wait lang. Again. 3, 2, 1. Sorry. Okay, wait lang. Next page. No. Ayan. 3, 2, 1. Okay, wait lang. I think there's one more. Wait lang. 3, 2, 1. Meron pa. Wait. Last na lang. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, now let us show our appreciation once again for our Miss Oni by giving her a virtual round of applause. Ayan. Thank you so much, Miss Oni, for spending your morning with us today, and we wish you the best in your endeavors. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat. Good luck sa
Thank you
rest
so
of the
much
event.
po.
Salamat.
Again, for any questions addressed to our next speaker, kindly refer to the link sent in the chat box. Let us now move on to our next speaker.
Our guest of honor and speaker was born with an extraordinary gift for leadership. He graduated high school with high honors in 𝗟𝗂𝗪𝗀𝗧 School, and at the same time served as a student council president from 2016 to 2017 and editor-in-chief from 2018 to 2019. He wasted no time during his high school years honing his leadership skills. At present, he is pursuing a degree in economics at De La Salle University, Manila, while simultaneously serving as the local chief executive of the local government of Masantol. Notwithstanding the daunting tasks of being both a student and a mayor, he has consistently displayed tireless and selfless service to all his constituents, at times even going over and beyond the call of his office.
In addition, he is one of the regional assemblymen of the Fraternal Order of Eagles and the immediate past regional master counselor for Region 3 of the International Order of Demolay. A newly adopted member of the PNP Oman Silang class of 2008 and the youngest member of the Pampanga Advisory Group for Police Transformation and Development. He is also the national chairperson for Youth of Patrol Party List and the organization's flag bearer. Without further ado, let us all welcome the youngest mayor of the Philippines today. Ayan, youngest mayor of the Philippines today, Honorable Mayor Jose Antonio Tonton Bustos.
Yeah, good morning po.
Good
Welcome,
morning
sir.
po.
Good morning po. How do I see myself? Pasensya na po, first time ko po sa mga webinar. It's my first time. Actually, si Kristen Aguilar, kachat ko siya ngayon. Then, ang sabi ko sa kanya, hindi po ako sanay sa mga ganitong klaseng setup dahil usually, kapag po tayo ay naiimbita, we come face to face with the audience and usually talagang iba po kasi. Parang weird lang ng setup na kausap po natin through screens ng laptop. Though, inabutan po tayo ng pandemic sa college and ngayon, magpo-4th year pa lang sa kursong economics. Medyo nasanay na rin naman na sa ganito klaseng setup. So, isang maganda at mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat. Above all, let me take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude to the organizers, the university administrators, our student leaders, and to all of you for extending your invitation for me to become one of the two resource speakers this morning. And kay Ma'am Oni Papa kanina, very well said po, Ma'am. I listened to your message, your presentation a while ago. And sa tuwing ako po ay nasa academe, such as this, pero usually po kasi sa graduation ng mga high school students dito sa 4th District ako nagkasalita. And medyo pressure din po ako, to be honest, na yung audience ko po ay from the University of the Philippines. Nagbibigay po ko ng mensahe sanay na, pero iba pa rin ang pressure talaga kapag first time sa webinar, tapos ang audience po ay from UP. But I always feel reinvigorated. I always feel na parang may bagong spirit. At iba po talaga kapag po siguro kasama yung mga young, mga dynamic, mga dedicated, mga filled with ideals and passion. Kaya po, again, I express my gratitude for having this honor and opportunity. Kaya po, ito pong ibinigay niyong pagkakataon, I will forever cherish this as one of my significant moments para po sa first term bilang local chief executive ng aming bayan. Which I would celebrate my first year sa high noon po ng June 30 dahil po nag-oath po ako nung June 30 of last year. So, to start po, gusto ko lang po maging medyo formal dahil nag-research po ako ng konti. And I'll read yung prepared ko po na presentation kahit wala po akong slides na ready. So, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a milestone document in the history of human rights drafted by various leaders and representatives from the multifaceted legal and cultural backgrounds from all regions of the global community, was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris, December 10 of 1948. This sets out and includes, for the first time, the right to freedom of opinion and expression, which should be universally protected. Nasa Article 19 po ng UDHR na yung right to freedom of opinion and expression. Categorically, it emphasizes that this right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers. Article 3 of Section 4 po ng 1987 Philippine Constitution furthers this right in stating that no law shall be passed without abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or the press, or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and petition the government for the redress or grievances. So bago po ako mag-dwell masyado dun sa naging legal basis bilang introduction, nag-search din po tayo and we saw na according po sa napoleoncat.com, as of January of last year, there were 95.2 million Facebook users in the Philippines, accounting to 82.9% of our population. Doon po sa data na nakuha, 53.7% po ay mga kababaihan and 46.3 naman po mga kalalakihan. And 29.5 million po doon ay nasa age po, nasa bracket ng 18 to 24. And I believe, and sa aking po nakita kanina sa mga nag-open cam, siguro po majority ng ating mga kasama po ngayon sa Zoom at mga nanonood sa Facebook Live ay nandun po sa bracket ng 18 to 24. Just to share, na-elect po tayo ng 21 but we just turned 23 5 days ago. Kaya po still nandito pa rin po tayo sa 18 to 24 na bracket. Kaya po sa tingin ko lahat po tayo ay kasama dito. We are a generation of social media experts. Tulad po ng sinabi ni Ma'am kanina na yung 10-year-old niya po na pamangkin iPad expert. And hindi lang po social media experts, siguro fanatics, if I may call it. Without a doubt, the new media, yung pong social media, has penetrated into the Filipino fiber ever since the occurrence of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, ngayon, uso na yung mga Instagram, TikTok, and many other platforms of information, communication, and discourse. Marami ng mga sumikat dahil sa social media at marami na rin po on the other side, ang nasira ang buhay dahil din po sa social media. Dahil nga po dun sa paglaganap ng mga fake news, dahil po sa mga lumalabas na issues and scandals, mula po sa away ng mga magkapatid, pati yung breakup sa love life, which I don't have until now, pati sa hiwalayan ng mga artista, hanggang sa away ng mga political families. Nalalaman po natin lahat sa social media. Kaya naman parang social media has affected the way we live and the way we think. Parang tinamaan na po yung ating behavior, yung ating tendency. Even our values and our moral compass have been affected by this digital world where we exist. The new media now serves as a powerful machine or tool where people of similar and common interests create, build, or break our communities. It has greatly influenced Filipino consciousness and incrementally shapes the way we think, the very way we reason out. The new media has become a strong force in catapulting people in power, deconstructing people structures, disrupting discourses, transforming and reorganizing the way we put valuation on issues and at times to people. In this day and age of modern and digital technology, amidst the exponential proliferation of domination of computer-mediated platforms and methods of communication, one may argue that the public sphere, where critical thinking and discourse remains to be important yet problematic. It has been claimed that media and the new media, yung social media, drive societal change by forming public opinion. Like mentioned a while ago ni Ma'am, na very evident po to, napansin po talaga to nung dumaan po yung national and local election noong May 2022. Talagang grabe po yung mga feed natin noon. Siguro lahat po tayo, puro iba't ibang kulay ng politika yung nasa feed natin. At naapektuhan yung ating way of thinking, yung ating perception, yung ating tingin sa mga kandidato. Kaya ganun po yung statement natin ngayon na it drives societal change by forming public opinion kasi nafi-feed na po lahat ng info doon. Whether media or new media, it is believed that it provides complex information easily available for consumption of the public and offers opportunity for dialogue, for debate, and for discourse. Din po yung mga keyboard warriors kapag may mga sa comment section na nagbabangayan. Then 𝗂𝗂𝗳𝗃 Habermas construed the term public sphere in his work, The Structural Transformation of the Public Sphere, an inquiry into a category of bourgeois society. It is a point where people meet to discourse and to deliberate on certain subjects, issues, topic based on their choice, an opportunity where the free sharing of information, ideas, and public opinion on common interests and concerns are entrenched on the various levels of society. It is a place for civil society deliberations on how these opinions can influence the actions of the state. He presented that the public sphere are the intermediate between the private individuals and the state. Yung mga constituents at saka po yung government. By the public sphere, people in the private realms as family members and economic actors use it to hold public authorities accountable by reasoned arguments and discourse rather than violent manifestation of dismay and protest. A space of reasonable discourse and critique. Kaya naman it provides yung public sphere, it provides a metaphor of sphere which mediates between society and the state, in which the public organizes itself as the bearer of public opinion. He recognized that the need to communicate is a fundamental human impulse that shall be accompanied with reasons. He posits the idea of the possibility of the establishment of social order, of democracy, for that matter, and via a reasonable and critical communication. For a while po Sorry. Nagka-commercial. Then, Habermas underscored that the public sphere provokes the formation of public opinion and legitimization of post-war Western state societies and democracies. So, medyo research-based masyadong kwento na yun yung part po ng ating discussion. But the idea of public sphere developed and was accepted as a domain ng social and communal life, where public opinions are formed and discourse are shared. The public sphere serves as the nursery and the seabed where public opinions are established. Without any intimidating and external force, the citizens voluntarily assemble and express their opinions. Kaya po na-coin ni Habermas yung political public sphere for public discussions pertinent to topics connected to the state and political practices and enterprises. Kaya yung critical discourse sa public sphere, china-challenge po yung nasa authority. It increases and widens the scope of our conversations and intensifies the role and the power of the public in the democracy and in the affairs of the state. So dito po natin nakikita yung mga mentioned na rights natin dun sa freedom of expression, na karapatan po natin na makapag-express ng ating opinion or yung gusto nating suggest sa government. Dito po yan sa idea rin po niya na public sphere. In other words, for Habermas, the quality of our society depends so much on our capacity to enter into a public sphere in order to communicate, to discourse, and debate with reasons. And in relation to that, in 2016, dahil po modern na, then we're connecting yung right natin, yung public sphere, then itong role ng ICT sa ngayon. In 2016, the United Nations, the UN declared that it considers the internet to be part of human rights. Dahil po the right to internet access was added, dahil po dun sa Article 19, everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. Ulitin ko lang po yung sa Section 32. Sabi po doon, the promotion, the protection, and enjoyment of human rights on the internet covers the right of those who work in and rely on the internet access. It also applies to women, girls, and those heavily impacted by digital divide. 2 years ago, noong 2021, ang UN Secretary General, si Antonio Guterres, underscored the global effort required in order to achieve the UN SDG, yung mga 17. He particularly called out the need for universal access to the internet among the other issue areas. He stated that now is the time to renew the social contract between governments and their people and within societies. The contract should include updated governance arrangements to deliver better public goods and usher in a new era of universal social protection, health coverage, education, skills, decent work and housing, and mga iba pa pong primary function ng government. Sa panahon pong ito ng internet, ng ICT, ng Information Communication Technology, bahagi na po dapat ng karapatan natin yung meron tayong access sa internet. Dahil po, as mentioned also a while ago by Ma'am, parang nagiging invisible barrier para sa mga wala pong access sa internet dahil po marami sa mga resources, marami sa ating mga dapat nalalaman available na po. Pero dapat meron tayong access sa internet. At kapag sinabi natin internet, sangkap at bahagi nito ang information and communication and technology. Hindi lamang sa private and public sector, hindi lamang sa academe tulad po ng ating mga institution, kundi halos sa lahat ng pagkilos at pag-iral ng bawat mamamayan sa ating pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. As we live in a digital world, in a digital era, we live and exist in a world of new technologies. These new technologies bring a great promise in order to improve government effectiveness, or better yet, the whole of the government, both national and local. Dito po sa amin, simula po nung negosyo po tayo sa ating opisina, we tried pakonti-konti na gawin pong e-government yung ating lokal na pamahalaan. Though gradually lang po at saka hindi po ganun kabilis ang transition dahil po dito po bilang Class B municipality na nasa southwest most part ng Pampanga. Hindi po namin kayang biglain yung shift, yung shift ng traditional or yung usual na transaction to biglang paperless or biglang digital. Medyo mahirapan po kami doon. Kaya po konti-konti, ini-incorporate na po namin, pati po yung e-commerce, pati po yung paggamit ng mga payment platforms tulad ng GCash, pakonti-konti pinapasok na po namin sa sistema dito sa local government. Dahil para po sa atin, new technologies bring into new perspective and paradigms in public governance, which is a multifaceted concept which encapsulate effective and efficient delivery of government services, lalo na po sa licensing, sa pagbabayad ng amilyar, sa tax deck, and marami pa pong iba. To date, in the Philippines, an essential growth in public and private investment, demand for better services and upward consumer spending is driven by information communication technology. Under the government's digital transformation program, the immediate priorities embrace a cloud data center, software development for business processes, the conversion of local government units into smart cities, tulad po ng initiative ngayon ng Baguio City kina Mayor Magalong, na kung saan talaga pong nagiging mas sustainable ang syudad, cybersecurity solutions for data privacy protection, and improving the internet and mobile services landscape through a national broadband plan, among many others. Noong pong 2022, ang dati pong Pangulo, ang former President Duterte, sinay niya po yung Public Service Act, yung 11659, that allowed 100% foreign ownership sa public services sa Philippines, including telcos. Noong 28 naman po nung May, with the intention to foster a better business environment and support its digital transformation projects, again, the former President Duterte signed the Ease of Doing Business and Effective and Efficient Government Services Delivery Act, that is RA 11032. Furthermore, papush po ng konti in 2016, through the enactment of RA 10844, our government established the Department of Information and Communication Technology to manifest its strong support to the ICT industry. Across many policies and measures, our government's digital transformation strategy pursue to improve the government's digital infrastructure, connectivity, and ease of doing business through innovative tools and solutions, as well as software development for revenue management, tax collection, and one-stop shop na online platform for business processing. Ito pong sinasabi nating mga to, yung tax collection, yung one-stop shop na para sa mga business licensing and processing, super effective po na nakikita natin first hand maganda pong feedback mula po sa ating mga negosyante dito po sa ating bayan personally. At talaga pong nakatutulong yung technology sa pag-deliver po ng mga government services tulad po ng pagpa-process ng mga permits sa pag-license. Ito pong tinatawag namin na EBPLS or Electronic Business Permit and Licensing System is a cloud-based software which allows taxpayers to file for the renewal of and the application for new business permits online. This program also enable our people to be provided with easy access to information such as but not limited to the retirement of business and business lines, computerized assessment of fees, taxes and charges, online printing of tax order of payment and business permit, endorsement of module for the office of the local building official, and other local government concerns. Hindi lang po sa BPLO, pati po sa atin, meron po tayong magiging investment na kung saan magiging centralized na po yung data dito po sa ating munisipyo na magkakaroon po ng easy access ang ating opisina sa iba't ibang departamento para po mas nababantayan natin yung transactions dahil po isa po talaga sa mga pinaka-nilalaban natin dito yung transparency at ayaw po natin na meron pong maging issue na gano'n sa atin kaya po we're investing dito po sa bagong technology. The PSA in 2020 noted that 957,620 businesses or 99.51% are from the MSMEs, yung micro, small, and medium enterprises. Nag-emerge daw po yung paggamit ng mga MSMEs sa digital technology. Unfortunately, they lack digital tools necessary to expand their businesses effectively and profitably. Dahil po kasama of course ng pag-invest sa technology, may cost po yun na pag minsan po hindi po kaya ma-shoulder agad-agad ng ating mga business owners. Pero alam ko po na alam ninyo na hindi pa rin po lahat ay nakikinabang at napaglilingkuran ng iba't ibang efforts and programs pagdating sa technology. Lalo na po yung mga kababayan natin sa mga remote areas. Tulad po sa amin, meron kami mga coastal barangays, yung mga walang kuryente, yung mga walang sapat na pasilidad para po sa mga makabagong teknolohiya. Dahil I would like to share our experience here sa Masantol. Kahit po may effort po, may initiative ang ating lokal na pamahalaan na gawing e-government, pero kung hindi naman po makasabay yung ating mga kababayan, lalo na po yung mga nasa coastal barangays at yung mga isla, hindi po magiging 100% effective at efficient ang ating lokal na pamahalaan kung ganun po ang sitwasyon. Kaya we're still trying to strike the balance dun sa pag-modernize ng ating government transactions at saka po dito sa pag-train at pag-educate sa ating mga kababayan na gamitin yung pinapakilala po nating bagong sistema. Kaya as a crucial enabler of citizen centricity, collaboration, and participation in governance, technology can be a potent antithesis to curtail and restrain the issue po on corruption. Like mentioned a while ago, mas mababantayan po natin yung mga transactions per office, lalo na po yung finance committee, yung budget, yung treasurers, yung sa accounting, yung sa BPLO, yung sa assessors. Dahil kapag po nakalatag po na maayos yung data at meron po tayong access at nababantayan po natin at nakikita po ng mga kababayan natin na open ang munisipyo dito po sa mga data na to, talaga namang wala na pong incentive or disincentivize na may involve pa sa ganong klaseng activity ang department or office na yon. Proof to this, sa World Governance Indicators na from World Bank, in-indicate po from yung scale po na 0 to 100 in terms of government effectiveness. Yung India po, score niya 57. Yung Indonesia, score niya 55. Yung Philippines, 52. Yung Thailand, 67. Whereas yung Japan po at saka Singapore, 93 and 100 respectively. Kung ito po ang ating magiging basehan, technology is a beneficial platform to shape a new kind of public governance with less corruption, delay, and hindrance in public service delivery. While many would say na data-driven digital technologies can either partially or fully replace human agencies in policymaking and governance, thereby rendering it with less human transactions or even making it less humane, as others will claim. Or in layman's term po, kapag nawala na yung tao sa proseso o papatakbo ng gobyerno, bibilis ang serbisyo at mawala ang korupsyon. Nakakatawa po ito, lalo na po sa aming mga lingkod bayan, mga kawalan ng lokal na pamahalaan. Pero nakakainsulto rin po ito dahil ibig sabihin po ba nito na kung wala na yung tao sa gobyerno, wala nang korupsyon, wala nang mahabang pila sa hospitals, or magiging smooth na yung flow sa ayuda. Nasa pangit man po kung magagaling po sa isang tao, isang official from the government. But we must really fix the system sa loob. Kaya po sa atin talaga, we would like to share this dahil po very, very proud po tayo rito na lahat po nilalatag po natin sa ating mga kababayan down to the last centavo. Especially po kapag po yung mga projects sa infra. Kaya po we are proud na humaharap po ngayon sa mga audience po natin ngayon sa Zoom at saka sa Facebook Live na hindi naman po laging gano'n ang setup. Pag minsan po, kailangan lang po may tumayo na mga bago na leaders na talagang may passion sa pagbibigay serbisyo sa mga kababayan. And the technology would complement yung move or yung drive ng tao na yon na gusto ng pagbabago. Kaya really, personally, ang laking bagay po ng social media sa atin to really show kung gaano ka-transparent at ka-accountable yung lokal na pamahalaan ng masunod ngayon. And for me, we must begin with an empowered and motivated digital workforce in the public service. Kasi hindi po tayo pwede mag-invest, i-equip ang munisipyo kung hindi naman po skill or trained ang ating mga empleyado na gamitin effectively and efficiently ito pong mga kagamitan. Digital and technology transformation efforts in public governance must put humans or individuals as agents of change. We must put not just citizens but also civil servants at the center and front of our governmental, digital, and technological transformation efforts. Our goal, our mission, our trajectory in this day and age of e-governance must to fill the gaps by bringing together the digital and technology expertise from public management, public policy, digital governance, information management, and the many other frontiers of public service. It is high time now to expand technology in public sector through efficiency and cost reduction, performance and transparency and accountability, and even in our climate adaptation and mitigation efforts. Dahil po kami rin po ang unang tinatamahan ng rise ng sea level sa probinsya ng Pampanga at isa po kami sa buong Pilipinas na unang nakakaramdam ng soil subsidence. Kaya po dagdag pa yung catch basin kami. Malaking bagay po talaga yung bagong teknolohiya para nakapagbigay po kami ng mga early warning systems sa aming mga kababayan. In fact, in many respects, tulad po ng mga nabanggit natin kanina, technology can improve government services through speedy, reliable, accurate, and convenient programs and projects itself. Through digital technology, our government can be more transparent and accountable. through increased data accessibility, which enable our people to know and understand how our governmental resources are being used as to whether or not projects and programs were effective to the general welfare of our people. But of course, nagagamit din po natin yung social media, yung technology sa consultation even before pa po ma-implement at maplano yung mga programa natin para sa mga kababayan na dapat i-implement. Dahil medyo Gen Z po yung mayor nyo ngayon, usually yung nagpapapoll tayo or nagla-live tayo, then we write down their comments kung ano po yung gusto nila talaga. At malaking bagay po yun dahil very costly, very time-consuming yung marabarangay na consultation. But a Facebook Live with the constituents watching and commenting doon sa live na yun, napapadali po yung isang activity na kung wala po yung technology would take us days. At dahil po tayo ngayon ay nasa academe, it is also essential for students like us to not only be prepared with better foundational skills such as reading, speaking, writing, and sa numbers, but to be able to learn and adapt in working with new technologies as they will be our future workforce. Nasa industrial revolution po tayo. Lagi ko pong naririnig yun sa aking microecon prof. At we must really start adapting and adjusting para po talaga ma-complement ng ang technology yung mga gusto po nating mangyari. Again, going back, government technology must be driven by data in order to work and improve the lives of our people. Government technology must be future-ready and interoperable. This will not only empower our people to work productively, but will surely give them an opportunity to air their discourse and grievances. Also, the government must have a comprehensive national cybersecurity and emergency communication plan, in addition to our digital governance efforts, in having central business portals, e-government master plans, and integrated business licensing system. As we aim po dun sa ating national goal, dun sa ating Ambition 2040 na matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay para sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino, the government must leverage digital technology in this day and age of the new normal. Ito po sa post-pandemic. Ngunit sa lahat po ng ito, mahalaga na hindi dapat malimutan na we must put premium in the ethics of technology in public service. At the end of it all, it is not the data, it is not the technology, but it is all about the people. Tao po ang sentro at tao po ang dapat patunguhan ng lahat ng ito, ng lahat po ng ating ginagawa. We can discuss more and more about digital technology vis-a-vis public governance, service, and accountability. But at the twilight of the day, our people will come face-to-face with us and ask us, bumuti ba ang buhay nila? Meron bang naging ambag sa buhay nila yung ating mga ginagawa? And this question is not a technological question, but an existential one. Dahil po, lagi pong bababa dun sa bottom line question eh. Pagbabalik ka sa mga tao, pagbabalikan niyo po yung ating mga constituents, naramdaman ba nila yung investment na yun? Naramdaman ba nila either directly or indirectly yung pinaglaan naman ng pondo? So, yun po yung challenge sa amin, sa government, to strike the balance dun sa ating gustong mangyari, tsaka dun sa reality sa ground. Kaya always, yung question na yun, existential siya. It is a moral one, and it is a compelling one. Public policy and governance must not just be a legal issue. It must be a moral issue. And if we are ready to use technology to advance the lives of our people, technology must defend and champion the unheard, the unnoticed, the unprotected, and the destitute among us. Ethics must guide our governmental efforts towards digital technology. Ethics must be the paramount and apex of our discourse in technology. Ethics in government, digital technology must be included in that public sphere we were talking about a while ago. Muli po, maraming salamat sa pagkakataon at mabuhay po tayong lahat na nagmamalasakit sa ating mga kababayan at sa bawat Pilipino.
Next, we would like, again, thank you so much, Sir Honorable Mayor Tonton. Thank you for spending your time with us. But for now, we have some few questions for you. Again, for any questions, refer to the link sent in the chat box or scan the QR code flash on your screens. So for our question, Sir Tonton, it's related to being a mayor as the youngest mayor in the Philippines. What is your message to aspiring youth who also aim to enter the politics? Kasi di ba minsan natatakot sila kasi ayun nga, di ba parang mostly marami nga mga matatanda in the politics. So ayun, ano yung message for them?
Gusto ko muna po sana, before answering the question, gusto ko muna po sana i-share yung ating pong naging ating kwento nung panahon ng kampanya na ito yung party na incumbent, ito yung party na kinakatakutan at malaki na may kaya at sinasabi nila talagang kaya nilang i-provide yung kailangan nila or the campaign. Kapag sila nagpapa-concert, kapag meron silang meetings, meron silang mga iba't ibang artista, merong magagarang stage, merong mga magagandang speakers, merong magagandang ilaw. Samantalang tayo, dala natin minsan megaphone, dala natin dalawang magpatong na monoblock bilang stage na natin. Nagmi-meeting tayo sa ilalim ng dalawang lona sa mga TODA, sa mga tricycle drivers. Or magbabanda po tayo sa isang malaking puno, kuwari po sa may barangay San Agustin or sa may barangay Malauli, durong barangay po namin na umaambon, nababasa na po kami. Pagdating po natin doon sa pinaglalaban natin, kailangan matibay yung pinangahawakan natin na advocacy. At yung ating idealism bilang mga kabataan ngayon, huwag po sanang mawala at ma-influence ng social media or ng mga sabi-sabi ng mga nakatatanda. Dahil po, yung challenge kasi, after election pa siya. Kasi madali pong ilatag yung plataforma madali pong ilatag yung programa. Pero yung challenge na i-keep mo, i-implement mo, at iparamdam mo yung programang yun after winning. After facing na pagpasok mo, ito pa rin sistema, kaya pala ganun sila. Yung bravery mo to still push through with advocacies, yun po yung real challenge and sana we always strive na i-champion at ipanalo yung ating ito naglalaban.
Ayan. Thank you so much, Sir Tonton, Mayor Tonton. I hope may mga ma-inspire dito sa ating Zoom room na maging future leaders ng kanilang mga communities, di ba? So, unfortunately, due to time constraint, that will be our last question for you, sir. Again, thank you for answering the questions from our audience. So as our forum comes to an end, we would like to acknowledge our second speaker for giving some of his time to share his knowledge. We would like to award our token of appreciation. This token of appreciation is awarded to Honorable Jose Antonio Bustos for imparting his valuable insights, experiences, and expertise with the participants of the UPDEPP STS 𝗂𝗂𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗂 Policy Forum entitled Lualu, Defending the Defenseless, Championing the Unprotected and the Destitute. Given this 19th day of June 2023, signed by STS1 Professor Prof. Remy De Leon and by overall head, Sir Sistaza. Ayan, thank you so much po, sir. All right, so now let's take a picture with our second guest speaker. Can we have our tech team assist us in the picture taking? Ayan.
Hello, everyone. Turn on your... Wala. Reacts na lang. Okay, first slide. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, next slide naman. Wait, okay. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, last na lang. 3, 2, 1. Isa pa last na talaga. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Ayan, thank you.
Ayan. So let us now show our deepest appreciation and, of course, gratitude by giving our Honorable Mayor a virtual round of applause. Thank you again po, sir. Thank you po for giving us your time.
All right. Now, we would like to thank our speakers for their time and knowledge they gave us today. We would also like to thank everyone who attended and actively participated in our discussion. Thank you to all of our audience members here in the Zoom room today. So, to formally close our program, we would like to call on Sir Daza, our overall class leader, for the closing remarks. Sir Ses, let's give her a round of applause.
Hello guys, good morning. So, magbibigay na lang ako ng parting words para to formally close yung ating event. So, maraming salamat guys at laging tatandaan, makibaka at wag matakot dahil nasa atin ang kakayahan na baguhin ang mga nakasanayan. Maraming salamat.
Taray. Thank you, Sir Ses. All right, thank you, Sir Ses, for leading us in making sure this event was successful. With that, we officially conclude Lualu, Defending the Defenseless, Championing the Unprotected and the Destitute, a policy forum on technologies of participatory democracy. Thank you for being a part of making this webinar successful, everyone. We would also like to ask everyone to please answer the evaluation form that we sent in the chat box right now to give your feedback on the event and to claim your incentives. Again, we would also like to invite all of you to please attend the second installation of our 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 webinar series entitled 𝗟𝗲𝗄𝗃, The Things We Failed to Learn During the Pandemic, later in the afternoon. Just check out our Facebook page for more details.
And on behalf of STS 1WF, our class, we thank everyone who attended this event. Again, this is 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
And I am Brent. Wait for it, David, your host for today. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Again, for the evaluation form, I think there has been a small problem, but we will be informing you about the form within the day. Again, thank you so much to our attendees and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Nice work.
Thank you so much.